One thing you might hear peddled a lot is related to growth, right? About the fact that in the EU, there are certain countries that haven't grown, certain countries that have. So for example, one very easy statistic to sum this up is that we are now in the EU as a whole, if you aggregate all of our growth since 2007, we're just 0.7% in real terms up from that period, from 2007. So we've grown by 0. Between 2007 and now, we've grown by about 0.7%, which is pathetic, really. And of course, there is the crisis you have to take into account. But if you compare that to America, for example, they've managed to grow by 9% in real terms. And the developing world in general has done a lot better than us. The problem is, though, however, within that 0.7%, you have a massive gap between the worst and the best performer. Germany might say that they have been absolutely fantastic, but they have averaged about 0.6% a year. So they've grown by about, I guess that works out 3.6, 4%, something like that. And by any standard, really, that's not a fantastic performance. Even coming out of a big depression, which we are, you have to kind of question the policies that don't allow us to grow a lot quicker than that, if growth is seen as tantamount. So moving on to Greece, anyway, Greece has suffered enormously. A few interesting statistics about what's happened in Greece. So in 2007-2015, public spending decreased by 22%. The government was spending 22% less on things like social welfare and investment infrastructure, these kinds of things, due to this Troika-imposed austerity measures. Troika, by the way, is a three-headed monster that imposes economic belt-saving policies on EU states, and it's composed of the IMF, the European Central Bank, and the Commission, which we've already talked about. So public spending decreased by 22%. Productivity has taken a big hit. Greece's productivity per employed worker decreased by 6.5%. So obviously productivity has gone down the shitter. Even Germany's has decreased by 0.7%, so it's not just Greece that's suffering here in terms of productivity. Suicides in Greece as well have increased by 26.5% in 2010-2011 alone. So they're having some big problems in Greece. We're talking about a lost 2 or 3 generations. If we think that things are bad in the UK, go to Greece. It's a state there, it's an absolute state, and quite honestly, they have been put in this state because of the EU. It's the Troika and the EU's fault that this has happened. So one aspect of the Troika-led austerity measures is mass privatization. This is something that the IMF had been doing for a long time, for example, in the Eastern states.